But first, we start with breaking news. A jury convicted an upstate man of murder for stabbing the mother of his children.
It happened in Anderson County in 2018. Adam lost of children.
And we're also following breaking news out of Greer. This is a live look at a shooting investigation. Police responded to the scene at a quick trip along South Highway 14 about an hour and a half ago. We're told one woman was hurt and taken to the hospital. We're working to learn more about what happened, and we'll let you know when there's an update. For all the latest breaking news, you can download the Fox Carolina News app.
And it's a first alert Friday weather day. But you know what? This camera shot from Clemson looked a whole lot worse earlier this afternoon.
Did.
It's starting to clear up a little bit.
It looks really good. And first alert meteorologist Chrissy Caller joins us. Chrissy, how much longer and where is the rain going next?
We've got a couple more hours of this, and Clemson dry for the moment because there's more rain moving through northeast Georgia right now. Yeah, we've got some severe weather.
Thanks, Chrissy. And more cold cases are being solved with new technology. It combines DNA and ancestry, and law enforcement is turning to investigative genealogy to track down suspects. Fox Carolina's Brooklyn Cromer tells us how this technology could be key to solving a decades-old murder here in the upstate.
There's some DNA.
Detention.
And a novel was removed from the Scholastic Book Fair at an upstate middle school this week. Heartstopper Volume 2 is the second book in an LGBTQ+ series that has been adapted for a live-action series on Netflix. The book was taken from the fair at Florence Chapel Middle School. The district released a statement on the removal saying, quote, Spartanburg District 5 Schools is addressing this particular vendor, in addition to closely examining our district's procedures for book fairs to ensure that the choices provided to our students are appropriate for their grade level. Part of the book talks about two male best friends sharing a kiss and it changing how they think. The district says its top priority is always student safety, and they will continue to work towards that. Senator Tim Scott back in his home state today as he continues to weigh a presidential run. This is his first event in South Carolina since announcing an exploratory committee earlier this week.
Fox Carolina's Justin Doherty is more from just outside Charleston.
News. And new helicopters in the upstate, how they're helping the National Guard do their job across the state and country.
And tracking
Welcome back. The South Carolina National Guard is entering a new chapter when it comes to responding to needs across the state and country.
It's Fox Carolina's Myra Ruiz reports new helicopters at the Greenville County facility are helping them to do their job even better.
The big deal
from the school.
In the Midlands, a former Lexington daycare worker will spend 16 years in prison after pleading guilty to abusing 29 of her students. This is 24-year-old Brianna Audit. Prosecutors showed surveillance footage capturing a month's worth of abuse to kids ranging from 10 months to 5 years old. This is video from court where Audit had to hear from parents of the kids she abused. Some say the abuse trauma will never leave their kids.
Trauma that choked me.
The Department of Corrections says that because Audit is pregnant, she will serve some of her sentences at the Camel Graham Correctional Institution. Once she gives birth, she'll get to spend at least 6 more weeks there and maybe transfer to another facility after. Russia says a detained American journalist will have to be judged before they consider a prisoner swap. More on why he may not be leaving soon.
And we go one-on-one with Senator Tim. All new at 6, the U.S. government still has no access to an American reporter behind bars on spying charges in Russia, and Moscow says they're not rushing to put together any sort of prisoner swap.
And Greg Palcott has more from London. Continuing to follow breaking news out of Greer, this is a live look at a shooting investigation. Police responded to the scene at a quick trip along South Highway 14 around 4:30. We're told one woman was hurt and taken to the hospital. We're working to learn more about what happened, and we'll let you know when there's an update.
Talking you to South
Arthur.
Thanks, Chrissy. And also, an Air National Guardsman is now facing charges of unauthorized retention and transmission of national defense information and willful retention of classified documents. The IT specialist is being accused of perpetrating the biggest leak of government secrets in at least a decade. Madeline Rivera reports.
21-year-old Fox Carolina News.
Coming up, Supreme Court rule says federal rules of an abortion drug will remain in place for now. We're joined by our White House correspondent for more on the case.
Plus, taking all your worries. The Supreme Court says federal rules on an abortion drug will stay in place for now, at least. We're joined live by our White House correspondent, John Decker, from our D.C. team for that story and more.
First, John, what specifically is the Department of Justice asking the Supreme Court to do, and what's the timeline for this case?
Pill within the next few weeks.
Now, the Massachusetts Air National Guard's been accused of leaking the highly classified intelligence documents, made his first court appearance today. What has the 21-year-old been charged with, and what do we know about him so far?
Well, we're talking about an individual named Jack Teixeira. He is years in prison.
Okay, and John, the big question, how was someone of Teixeira's rank able to access these classified documents, and how damaging is this leak?
Arthur, that is the big question, and that's the big in their war against Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah, scary. Well, late last night, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill banning abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy. How will this bill likely impact potential presidential prospect for DeSantis? I know he's making a stop in South Carolina next week, actually.
Yeah, so DeSantis is trying to move to the right 24 presidential election.
Now, John, what about this one? In politics, a very prominent California lawmaker is calling on California's senior senator, Dianne Feinstein, to resign. Why is a fellow Democrat pressuring Feinstein to step down now?
Yeah, it's a big question that a lot of Democrats are asking. How long will name a Democrat to that seat?
Right.
John, you covered a lot of bases today. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, John. Have a great weekend. Well, this afternoon with the pups, work on their reading. And, you know, I know some kids can be a little scared of dogs sometimes. Some of them love them. So working with a therapy dog like that, they're so
Very
gentle.
calming.
Yes.
Very just like the rain for some people.
Yes.
It's very calming.
Hey,
Yes.
those are for
How
you.
about this one?
I like it at night. I like it at night. I like sleeping to
I
the
like it
rain.
from my car.
To be fair, those are three things that go together really well. Dogs, reading, and rain.
Oh!
Right?
That sounds like my perfect
I
weekend.
like this wit, Chrissy.
Arthur hit the nail on the
Should be
head
a
right
teacher.
there. Yeah, right? Curl up with a good book this evening if you're not willing to brave the rain. The good news is we